motion that we exit the executive session.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Come on up. Welcome.
Good morning. Scott Crowther, Event Director, Business Manager.
Fanny Coulter, Event Manager.
J Group Operation Manager.
So we have a couple things to chat about. The first thing is I'm sure you've seen the Ian Munsick concert that was announced over the weekend. Part of the announcement included a donation from Ian to Highland High School, and part of that was matched by the county. And so as we began those negotiations to try to do some type of fundraiser, time moves kind of fast in some of those events, and so I made the call to offer or to approve the donation as part of the county, but I wanted to bring it before the commission and make sure you guys are okay with it, and then move forward from there. On the part of the discussions that we had was adding some a cost to the back end of the ticket price for the fundraiser, and I pushed back to say no, let's keep the ticket price the same. Let's actually just take it off off of our end, and so that's kind of where it brought us into this realm. So.
And I really believe that through concessions and everything else, that will make up the monies. But I also feel like we've had a black eye a little bit in the community and stuff up there. And I think that supporting the local high school, the school district, takes part of that black eye away. It's a good opportunity for us to say this is what we're going to do, and we're supporting the community. That's the way I felt about it.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And I know that as we do this first year of concerts, you guys have granted me the autonomy to sign the offer sheets, which typically includes setting prices for the shows up front, and then we do have a lot of negotiation that goes on, kind of on the back end, and so situations like this kind of walk that line of what's my authority and what's not my authority, and so. As we're going through this process, I just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And sometimes these things move kind of quick, and I don't know if this is the best solution to come after the fact and talk to you about it, or if I can, I'll bring it on the front end for sure. But just so you know, we're trying to learn through this process as well.
Oh, on everything we would like on the front end, no doubt. But we do realize that this is our first time in this arena. And we want it to be successful, and we appreciate all the work that's going on. I mean, there's so many things happening behind the scenes that it's not just show up and here's a concert and it just appears. There is so much going on, and it's much appreciated. And so thank you for the conversations, and thank you for the work.
So another conversation point is our conversation point number 2 is about tickets. So the last 2 years, we've worked with a private entity that we've contracted with, and they have given away tickets when it started out. When concerts didn't sell a lot, they would give away tickets to those shows, and then eventually they ended up giving away a lot of tickets to the shows. The only shows they didn't give away tickets to were there was one show last year, a rock show that had a lot 7,000 tickets sold to it, so there weren't any free tickets given to that show. But I think we've kind of created a little bit of in some cases, an expectation from people of the show. When I submit the offer sheet, I have to tell them how many tickets I intend to comp for a show, and typically it's 1% of the volume of the seating capacity.
I'm sorry.
So it's 1% of the seating capacity
1%
is what I have the ability to comp without going back to their management team and negotiating. a discount. So if I wanted to do any discount tickets, we've got to go back, kind of renegotiate some of that stuff. And so typically, like the comp tickets that we have, some of those will go towards radio giveaways. Some of those will go towards, like if we have an event that I think is has the ability to generate some ticket sales, like that's going on at our event center. Maybe it's a soccer tournament, or maybe it's a rodeo, horse race, something like that. Then what I'll do is I'll go like this last weekend, I went to one of the high school rodeos, and I did an announcement over the PA. I played the Ian announcement for them. It just so happened that because of the weather, District 8's rodeos are all happening at our event center, and Wyoming is the district that was hosting that rodeo specifically. So they brought in all their seniors, did senior night. It was a big Wyoming day, and Ian Munsick is a Wyoming kid, so it turned out to be a great correlation. But I'll also throw a couple of tickets that they can give away in a drawing as part of their event as well. And so when it comes to employee tickets, we have not been giving them out to employees at this point, but we do have a lot of requests for tickets that I kind of weigh. I have mixed feelings on this stuff because I feel like there are a lot of people that support us from the county, from the community, that do need to come and see what we do, that do need to come and see because they are being supportive. I know with the commissioners, we've talked about having the commissioners come along and watch how we do our jobs. I mean, you guys are the people that evaluate how well I'm doing or not doing. And so there has to be
So how many
there.
tickets do you get per concert?
About 100.
About 100.
And I'll bet you we comp out through giveaways and stuff probably 40 or 50.
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot, and we're not going to do what happened last year. There's just no way. There's just no way. But I've also thought about the elected officials, and honestly, I've thought about each elected official getting 6 tickets to a concert, and they can give it to their employees, whatever, the public, whatever. But this is our concert. That's not a gift. Like last year, I mean, it's not somebody else giving. This is us, Bannock County. And so I've just, elected officials, and I'm not trying to, they're not compensated for everything that they do. And I think that this is something that if we ended up with 6 tickets for between 9 elected officials, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
That's 54. That's a little over half of the tickets that we have to comp out. But like, that's something that we can do.
Do you have other uses for these comp tickets?
Like I said, I give away, so we give some to the radio stations.
How many total there's 100, right?
Yes.
How many are you guys giving away or estimating to give away?
I'll give away all of them.
Well,
I'll give away all 100 of them. I mean, it's a lot easier to
for
give away
promotions
tickets.
and stuff.
Yeah, so like.
Okay, but I just asked, and you said 40 to 50.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm saying,
Okay.
I'm saying I would give away all of them.
Okay,
So-
that's
so
why I asked
if-
that question first.
If 50 of them would come to you guys, and I would, if it's, I don't know if it's a negotiation, I would almost counter back and say, could I give you 4 to each elected official, which puts us at 36 tickets, which gives me a little bit, because if I give away 50 to radio stations roughly, that gives me maybe 15 that I can give away to rodeos, to other events that are happening up there.
And I'm good with that. And these are just general tickets.
Just general
In the-
admission grass tickets.
In the seating area, not necessarily the grass, but in the seating
So
area.
typically they're grass tickets, but I just say I'm gonna give away, I'm gonna comp 100 tickets, so I can comp 100 tickets anywhere I want in there. It just depends on how the shows are filling up. So we really wanna see the tickets come from the front and move to the back, which is how they've been working to this point.
Yeah,
And so, we have, I guess really I would leave that up to you guys to come to me and say what kind of tickets you'd want, and we'll see if we can get those tickets.
Are you, how are you doing, what do you call those things up front where the waitress comes? What is
The
that called?
VIP area.
Box seats.
Yeah, it's box seats, yeah. How are you doing on that? Are we getting, are all of those gonna get sold for these concerts?
So I would say we're close to having most of those sold right now. We haven't gone out and shopped them to anybody. We've had people call us, and we've offered those out. We're holding 2 boxes that are Bannock County boxes that I hold, again, for promotions and stuff like that. And then we have to have some that are kind of flex boxes because there's going to be weird ticketing issues where, like, somebody's seat there's a seat numbering issue, and there's things we just don't know, and having a box that you can stick somebody in, hey, let us upgrade you, we'll put you in a box for tonight, we'll fix that issue. And believe me, that actually happens more frequently than we would love. Like, I got off the phone with one of the artists yesterday, and they were talking about risers, which is a stage that comes out the front of the stage and then tees off. Well, that's going to displace people, right? And so sometimes if that number's too great, we'll say, okay, hey, let's see if we have some people that have pit tickets, we'll give them, maybe we'll upgrade them to VIP tickets. And so it's just the ability to kind of upgrade somebody. But I don't keep a lot of box. I keep 1 box, maybe 8 to 10 tickets that way. So, and oftentimes, like when we're working, when my staff is working, once the concert is going, we're there to put out fires, right? And so we let everybody know this is where we're sitting. We'll still have radios, we'll still have all the stuff you can get a hold of us, but you'll always know where to find us as kind of a home base. And I think last year, most of you guys had the opportunity to watch us work in those shows, and it happens quite a bit where we just get pulled up and we get up and have to go deal with an issue. So I do like to keep something that's kind of close up front as a base of operations for not all of our staff, maybe three to 4 of our staff.
So it sounds like you're probably gonna get all the VIP tickets sold,
Yeah, I think we'll be.
plus you're gonna have this little flex box. And so the tickets that would be available for comping would be the ones where those seats are already there.
Yeah, and again, depending on the show. So what I would say is like if you said, hey, look, each one of the elected officials gets 4 tickets, then you just call me up and say, here's the tickets I want. Give me a couple grass seats, give me a couple seated, and then we would go through and see what's available. And on some shows, we may say, all I got is grass seats for this show, or yeah, we can get you into some seated tickets. And so we would just play that by ear depending on the show. And obviously, earlier the better on some of the big shows. We're going to have hopefully 1 or 2 more pretty decent shows where tickets are going to be at a premium. So
what about spouses, family of your staff?
we have not addressed that to this point. I have personally addressed it with my wife, because she said, man, I am so excited to go see the concerts this year. And I'm like, well, you better get on and buy tickets. And she's like, really? I said, yeah, you got to buy tickets. And so, like, it is a long day for our folks that are working the jobs. But at the same time, we're working, we're working. So, and again, we just haven't, last year there was a lot of free tickets. Last 2 years there's been a lot of free tickets. So really anybody's friends or family that wanted to go to a show, they could get into a show. But there also were times when we did not have tickets to give away, and I've been okay saying, we're not giving tickets away to this.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd like to sell as many tickets as we can sell.
Agreed.
And I know you gotta have some kind of flex box, and you probably need some flex seats, I would imagine, just in case.
Yeah, and we
correct?
try to use the flex box as that, because
Right.
if we're having more than like 8 to 10 issues during a show, then we've got a big issue we've got to address, and we have a computer that we'll have over in our up on the stage. We have a safe room that has our e-tick stuff in there. During the show, the tour manager and Cheney will be our representative. They watch e-ticks for ticket scans, ticket sales throughout the entire show, because that's the final settlement is that we have with those guys is based off of ticket numbers. And so they definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, I think you know, like I said, I'd like to see, if we sell the whole thing, every seat in the place, that'd be great. I don't know, what would you think? I'm not opposed necessarily to giving elected officials a couple of tickets or whatever, but what would you think about just letting us kind of play it by ear, by concert?
Well, I'd just like to make a standard, basically.
I think, so my opinion of that is, okay, so first of all, I'd like to make sure that, like, I'm never gonna give Carrie a ticket because she goes anyways. I think that it would be incumbent on us to give it to people who would maybe next time go to a concert because they went and had a good experience, and to get them out there more, so next time they're buying a ticket. That's what I think would be important for us. And then my question would be, those comp tickets, if I get 4 tickets and I give them away to 4 people, can you tell if they used them? Because if not, I'm gonna go.
It would take a little bit of digging, but we could. And the thing about, the reason that the last company we used gave away so many tickets is because people that go to the concert still typically buy concessions. And so the ticket cost eats away at our expenses for the artist buy and the expenses to put on the show. And then all of the concessions is our revenue. And so typically, and again, that's the philosophy is that, and that's one of the things that we set our concessions projections off of is ticket number, the number of people at the show times $20. And again, we'd love to get up to $40 per show per person, but on average, we're looking at $20 per concession per person. So if we sell 5,000 tickets, we're looking at $100,000 in concessions revenue generated.
Yeah. I think, I'd be okay with giving, if there's tickets available that you can't sell, I'm okay with giving a limited number.
Well, he's got the 100 comp
Available.
tickets,
Yeah,
and that's what we're taking it out of. We're not taking it out of the sales tickets,
right.
and it's
And-
all
yeah.
out of the comp.
And out of the comp tickets, essentially what you're doing is like, those are just fewer tickets I'll give away, but I would still give those tickets away. I would still give them away.
Right.
Whether you guys take them or not, I'm still gonna.
And I think that that's an ideal situation for an elected official to walk somebody
Okay.
and say, hey, here's, go enjoy this tonight.
Yeah,
I just,
yeah, I'm okay with that.
From my standpoint, I've heard of stories of managers that had like football tickets that they keep in their pockets. And they'd walk around the plant, and if they saw someone wearing their safety vest, hey, good job, thanks for wearing your safety vest, or doing something great, boom, and that immediate benefit of doing something right is a good motivational thing that we could use to our advantage too.
I know one of the issues that Brian had when we talked before was, is this creating a benefit to a person based off of their position that not everybody would get? And really, the tickets are given away to anybody, everybody. There's not a, there's no rhyme or reason.
The difference, and I agree, if it was a gift, if this wasn't Bannock County's, and we was receiving our individual gifts, then that's one thing. But this isn't a gift. This is a Bannock County event that we have control of. So it's not the same to me as go out local, coming and giving me box seats for the year. It's not the same thing, because it's not a gift from somebody else. This is Bannock County, and we're the authorities that make the choices and decisions in it.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd say is if we're going to give them to the elected officials can do with them whatever they want.
Oh, they
We're not
can.
going to put any restrictions.
No.
Yes. And honestly, like, I want you guys to come and see what we're doing. Obviously, we're hoping for a great, successful year. And like, we've had Jason and Christy Klauser up to look at our plans for taking care of money. I think we've asked Christy to see if she can't work a couple concerts with us initially, just to verify that our processes are square, because there's a good possibility we're going to be dealing with a large sum of money. And we've got to be careful with that kind of stuff. I mean, we've really got to be careful with those resources, so.
There's a really good plan in place for that.
And I'd like to review that so that we're all on the same page there. Because I mean, honestly, it's elected officials that are going to come up there and look at it, and we're going to make decisions on how we go forward. And without being there, we can't do that, for one thing.
If there's
The
a
other
day,
deal-
maybe next week, that we could have, if you want to get
Not
all the
next
elected
week.
officials. Oh, not next week.
We're out of town next week.
Because it would be the week of that Riley Green concert then, because we'll have the whole place set up, and you'll be able to see exactly what we're going to walk through and what we're going to do. So,
And that brings up the next question I have. You've talked about employees that have wanted to volunteer.
yeah.
We've done that down at the fair. So what's the plan and
So
compensation?
we haven't reached out to employees yet.
Okay.
When I talked to Brian a little bit about this, it's a little bit different. There's two ways you can do it. One is they could be paid by their current place and given the authority to go down and move down there. So, like, I would still be paid in my current capacity. I would just go down and work and leave my current position vacant for the week. Or we can have them volunteer. And a volunteer position is, there's no compensation for it. They sign up as a volunteer. Their job has to be different than the job that they get paid for. So I can't have Christy come and volunteer and then have her do money stuff. But if Christy came and volunteered, she could work concessions, or she could be an usher, something like that. Really, what we would use our volunteers for, our county volunteers, and I haven't put it out yet, but I would like to, with approval, is a 3-hour volunteer spot where you come and maybe they take their ticket takers. They get there 4, 7 o'clock, they're done, and then they have access to the show, right? So that would essentially, you come, you'd work for 3 hours, you'd end up getting access to the concert in a general admission setting.
Are you talking about on the grass
Yes.
area?
So anybody that wants to come and volunteer for the show, we would obviously look at the person and say, okay, we can use people in different capacities. There's going to be more desirable jobs and less desirable jobs for sure. We have some people that are going to be runners for the bands, and so they may be driving the band down to a golf course, right? And then they've got to hang out with the band for the day. Well, that's going to be a position that people are going to be desirable. We want to make sure that whoever's in that position isn't asking for autographs or isn't asking for pictures or isn't harassed, that they're just, being pretty cool. So some positions we're really evaluating to make sure we have the right person in that position so that it's not going to be weird for us in the future.
On Switchback, they're going to provide side-by-sides, or they providing people to drive them, or are we providing the people to drive them?
They are providing people to drive
Okay,
them.
because that's something I wanted to make sure we had the right people in the right positions,
Yeah.
especially if there's going to drive somebody else's vehicle and
Mhm.
escort people into the arena.
Yeah. And so that's, I think one of the things that we are looking to talk about on Thursday is just an overview of all the sponsorship agreements and outlining what is entailed in that sponsorship agreement. But it sounds like, not sounds like, they'll actually have salesmen driving the VIPs up in those really nice side-by-sides. So,
Okay.
If I may, for the volunteer stuff, if I could work with you on that, just because I have some things that are more kind of countywide in scope I'd like to do with volunteers, and I think this will help me.
I just got to move fast on it is all.
That's fine.
So, and,
We've got a lot of groundwork already done.
oh, great, that's perfect.
So,
Okay, I'll reach out to you.
thank you.
Well, I like your volunteer plan.
I think it'll be great. I know there's a couple of county employees that got paid to do it before, and unfortunately, we really can't do that.
Yeah, I
But
like the volunteer better.
if we can trade for access to the show, I think that would work out really great for us. Our plan at this point to hire staff, to run security, to hire staff to run concessions and all that stuff. We've had a pretty dang good turnout. We probably just need, I would say we probably could use 15 to 20 more people, and we have a plan to help get us to that point, but having an extra 15 to 20 people would put us right where we need to be.
So talking about that and security,
Mhm.
I mean, Bannock County Sheriffs wear security all the time. And if they can't go do that, because it's part of it, it's the same as
So
a
we
regular
actually-
job. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just,
So they
it's
don't
just different
volunteer.
than go out local.
They get
Yeah,
paid.
so we pay them, as contract for any events that come up there. And we have an agreement with the sheriff's office where we pay time and a half to the people that come up there. We pay their actual wage, which is a great deal for us, to be honest with you. And we have outlined, we actually hired a couple of security people that we've hired, have law enforcement experience. They currently work in other law enforcement capacity outside of the county. And so we've talked to the sheriff's office about their role in our concerts is law enforcement. Like last year, I feel like they were used as security.
Yeah.
Right? And this year we want them used as law enforcement. And so,
Okay.
but that means different jobs for them, you know, like on the bag search stations and the pat search stations, we'll have an officer stationed at each one of those locations to ensure that like things are happening appropriately, and if something illegal is found or uncovered, that they will be there to do their job. So it's I think you're gonna see a decent uptick in this plan.
Other questions, comments? You excited? You nervous? Yeah. All the above?
Well, here, I'll
You getting any sleep?
explain last week. I came in last Monday, and I said to Cheney, like, I feel like I'm falling on my face right now. And she's like, really? I feel great about things. And then the conversation this morning was, I think I had a panic attack last night, coming from Cheney, and I'm like, I feel okay, right? So as long as one of us,
It's working.
as long as one of us feels okay about
Balance.
things, then I feel pretty good. But no, it's moving really fast, and it's kind of switched over. I think we're switching over from some of the nerves to some of the excitement. So, yeah, we're excited about it. Yeah.
Good. So are we. Like I say, it's a big event for us, but I really feel better than I have in years past with other people having control of things. And
Yeah.
I mean, we hadn't even announced a concert last year at this time.
Well, we definitely, I want 2 more concerts announced by the time we have Radley Green.
Good.
But we'll see. We'll see if we get there. That process takes a long time. We're fumbling our way through that. So, and I feel like we've had a lot of collaboration from everybody. You know, we've spent so much time working with the auditor and Christie's office, and Cheney's been writing a ton of policies on it. Jake's been up in the rafters welding up a set of curtain rods. There's so much that we're doing that we will not have to do next year. Like, I just really feel like we're jumping forward. So, do you guys need to make an official decision on the 4 concert tickets per elected official?
Yeah, I'd ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd go ahead and make that motion that we authorize 4 concert tickets to be given to each elected official to distribute as they see fit.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you Thursday, huh?
will.
Okay.
For the sprinklers.
On the Bannock side, they're really good.
I know.
Fertilizer's going on.
Looks good up there.
We're going to slice on that side, but still waiting. I got a call from the engineer while we were.
Let's go ahead and make a motion on the fundraising deal too, of the $1 per ticket.
Oh, for Highland.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, then I go ahead and authorize, or make a motion to authorize the donation of $1 per ticket for the Highland fundraiser as discussed from the Ian Munsick concert.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we need to talk about the Little League football? Isn't that in here?
Yeah, we got contracts and rental agreements. First one is a maintenance agreement for Bannock County events, rental agreements. Get Scott, tell him to come back in here. I don't know if he wants to go over all these. Or if that's part of what he wants to talk about Thursday. The football should be now.
Yeah, football's what we talked.
We have a Little League football contract? Did you want to go through that now, or you want to go over that Thursday?
I think we just documented the stuff that you guys had said in the last meeting on it.
Okay, yeah, it's all here, it's in a contract. I just didn't know.
So we just took the notes that were made after the work session, typed it up into a contract and then submitted it. So,
It matched what we talked about.
yeah, as long as it matches what you guys are good with, then I think we're okay.
And then the events sponsorship agreements? Did you
Yeah.
want to go over them now, or did you want to go over them
I think those were the things we were talking about going in detail on Thursday.
Okay, that's,
And part of this is just the process for obtaining signatures on all those sponsorship agreements. Most of them, we've already obtained signatures on the other side, but there are a couple that we'd want to talk about probably in an executive session.
okay, then that's, we'll hold on to them then.
Okay.
Okay,
So I'll go ahead and make a motion on the Little League football that we authorize signature and approve that contract as presented.
we have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Surprise them?
What's that?
Did it surprise them last week when you walked out
I
here?
think it was good. I think it was very good.
All right. And we have one from Christie, signature on a copy or maintenance agreement when legal has reviewed. Any questions on that one?
Pretty straightforward. Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the maintenance agreement with Valley Office Systems as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next we have Commissioners' Proceedings for April 2023.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the Commissioner's proceedings as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then we have an alcohol permit.
And Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the alcohol permit as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. With that being said, we'll be at recess till 1:30. Tax